Who was the Salaf that said, whoever does not humiliate himself for 1 hour, please reset, or please mention the rest of the quote. Whoever does not undergo the humiliation of seeking knowledge for 1 hour will not achieve any knowledge, will not achieve any knowledge, right? When we have to humble ourselves to knowledge, not even to the person per se, but to the knowledge itself, right? We want to get up and we want to go do something else, or maybe you're hungry or you're thirsty or whatever it is, right? You're getting bored, right? Boredom is a thing, focus, concentration, right? These are all skills that we build up by way of in seeking knowledge. But I would just say, as for who said it, I would just say right now, the Salaf, a Salaf, and we can review for a more definitive individual who made the quote. But this is a statement of the Salaf. The questioner is asking here, this looks like our brother Naeem. He's stating, can we get a copy of the in-depth definitions you are using moving forward? Well, for example, the history of Islamic law is right here in front of us, right on the screen, right on the screen. The definition of history of Tariq, Sharia, and of Islam right here on the screen. And you also have these definitions in all of these notes. Everything that we're doing in the slide, you have access to it in the digital hard drive, right? So it's there. If you are asking for specific things that we're mentioning as we go, then if you mention some of those things to us, then we can reiterate them to you, because we're actually doing this live with you, and I can't necessarily forecast what's going to come out of my mind at a given time, right? We're doing this real time. So if there's a definition of something that comes to my mind, I want to be able to share with you. If you need to record it, ask me. I can repeat it so that you can record it if it's something that's not immediately mentioned in our notes. The question states here, Assalamu alaikum. I could be mistaken, but I thought our class was 2 hours because it is only 1 day a week. I would love to sit with you for 2 hours straight. I'm okay with that, right? I'm perfectly fine with that, right? I would love it because it would allow us to I can pace a little bit slower and we can cover more material as well. But I'm not sure the tolerance of the rest of us here, right? And this is something we can discuss in our private student engagement forum, kind of what we're comfortable with. A 2 hour slot, that'd be great for what we're doing right now, because it's a lot of material, as we can see. However, what we're doing is Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. We're aiming for approximately 1 hour. We're at the 1 hour and 15-minute mark, so we're in that range right now. But we're aiming for 1 hour each day. 1 hour on Tuesday, 1 hour on Thursday. That brings us to our 2 hours. If present company wanted to increase that to 2 hours so that we can work our way through the material that we have, if you got the heart for that, I'm with you. I'm all the way with you, right? I love this and I love you all, so I can do this with you guys all day. Another question here is stating, as knowledge is obligatory upon every Muslim, does this mean it is required for every Muslim to seek both proximal and distal knowledge, or is it distal knowledge an additional reward given to those who seek it? That is a profound and excellent question from our sister Sumaya. May Allah reward you ever so kindly for asking it this way, and it clearly shows that we're paying attention, and I appreciate that, because that also means that I'm not giving you all too much too fast, because you're following, you're tracking. Alhamdulillah. Okay. The obligation is not necessarily proximal knowledge or distal knowledge. Someone else is saying if he does it for 2 hours one day, then it is only one time a week. Is this correct? No. If we do it for 2 hours, we're going to do it for 2 hours twice a week. 2 hours twice a week, right? If we do it for 2 hours. We're going to attempt to unmute one more time to see if there are any other verbal questions before we close for the day. Anyone that is looking to unmute yourself in order to ask a question, please unmute yourself to ask your question at this time. Are there any verbal questions?
I had one last one, Sheikh.
Please.
In the history, you mentioned, I thought during the talk, you mentioned the first book of Islamic law. Did you mention the most famous work or more widely used? It was by a different teacher. The one that was, I don't know the term you used, but it was the one that was post the first book written.
Correct. Yep. And that is the second bullet point. I believe it should still be on the screen. Tariq Tashri' al-Islami, the history of Islamic law by Sheikh Mana al-Qattan. This is the most exhaustive work on the topic. So this is the main one that a Talib Ilm should have in the library. Tariq Tashri' al-Islami by Sheikh Mana al-Qattan. Right? That's the one. If you have to choose one, that's the one. And when other people of scholarship are speaking about this topic, or in their books and such, right? Because in books you're going to see the footnotes, quotations, and things like that. This is the book to quote from. You can quote from any book, but this is the one that'll be frequent.
Wait, don't go anywhere yet. I appreciate you getting to the end of the video. I have a question for you. Do you have a desire in you to become a student of knowledge? Have you wanted to travel overseas or even get into an Islamic university, maybe even the Islamic University of Medina, but things didn't pan out for you? Maybe you wanted to learn the Arabic language, you learned some or none at all, and you just don't have the access that you need to get to the path of knowledge. Well, I have a gift for you. We have put together a program for you where we give you the experience that we had in the Islamic University of Medina, the actual courses in the Islamic University of Medina, remove all the barriers and just give you the experience. You don't have to know Arabic, you don't have to travel overseas, you don't have to get accepted in university. We are calling it the Medina Student Boot Camp. We give you that and so much more. This sounds like you? Click the link below. See you on the other side.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Fahim. I'm one of the students in the Muhammad to Now course. I was told to talk about how my experience is, inshallah ta'ala, by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So far, so good. I was just talking to Imam Aqil about it earlier. I told him that the class is very detailed. It's something that I've myself never been in or experienced, and it's really good to have a course like this specifically from the University of Medina and from what he's been taught by his teachers, and to bring that over and translate that into the English language. It is a pretty dope idea. May Allah grant him much success, and may Allah grant him the highest levels of Jannatul Firdaus. Ameen. Hopefully this can be a benefit to me, myself, far as my Islamic knowledge and worldly life, and the other students, their worldly life and their Islamic life, or however way they want to live their lives as Muslims, and encourage others to join in this course, inshallah ta'ala. I would just like to thank Imam Aqil for literally dragging me into this course, because he sent me like 2 to 3, 4 messages. So after the 4th message, I was just kind of like, man, I gotta join this, man. Like, this is a I looked at it like a once in a lifetime opportunity. But once I got the voice note, I was just like, nah, I gotta do this. And I always make the dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase my ilm and stuff like that. And then when the opportunities comes, I miss it, or I see it, but I'm just like, nah, maybe it's not the right time. It was always the right time when it presents itself to you, though. So my advice to anybody that try to join the course is to, once you get that invite from Imam Aqil, or once you get the invite from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't hesitate. Join the course and benefit as much as you can. Pay attention to detail when you're present in the class, because he makes that very clear too. When you in the class, pay attention to detail, especially when you're taking the quizzes and so on and so forth, right? So alhamdulillah, the experience has been nice. I would like to continue, inshallah ta'ala, if he have any other courses that he may be planning on doing in the future. No, alhamdulillah. That's it.